This is the spear, possibly the new strongest weapon in the game. On the surface, just a weak-long sword, only good to keep some mobs at a distance. But the spear is more than just a pointy stick to poke your enemies. In fact, it contains the power worth competing with the mace, or even more than that, if you know how to use it. But don't you worry, because I will show you everything you need to know about the spear, from the very basics to killing a player with the strongest armor in one hit. Are you ready? Let's break it down. To fully master the spear, we must first understand the basics of the spear. Crafting the spear works the same as all the other tools and weapons, by placing 2 sticks and 1 material like this in the crafting table, or by upgrading a diamond spear to a netherite spear, just like all other gear. So with just 1 wood log, you can already craft 2 wooden spears. You might think that the wooden spear is worthless, but it actually has some benefits, but we'll get to that later. You can also find spears in the chest of some structures, and mobs that spawn with a spear have a small chance of dropping it when you kill them. Piglins will even drop their golden spear if you give them a golden sword or crossbow instead. So that's how to get the spear. Now let's cover the 2 types of attacks you can do with the spear. First we have the jab attack, which is just a fancy word for a normal attack with the spear. It only does half a heart of damage in Java or 1 heart in Bedrock, while each tier does half a heart of damage more. That doesn't sound so impressive, right? Given that swords do 1.5 hearts more damage per tier. Besides that, spears cannot do a critical hit, which normally give 50% more damage on any weapon. And on top of that, spears have a forced attack cooldown, where you simply cannot use it until the cooldown is over, even in Bedrock Edition, where it's the only weapon with a cooldown. So what's so special about the spear then? Well, as you might already know, spears have a longer attack range than other weapons, at 4.5 blocks rather than 3. Maybe that doesn't sound like a lot to you, but it makes all the difference in hitting mobs, while keeping them at a safe distance. You can hit a creeper before it can get close enough to you to ignite and blow up. You can keep wither skeletons away from you and kill them on a comfortable distance. You can even slowly kill an iron golem while he doesn't have the chance to hit you back. And not only that, the spear pierces through your targets. So anything that is within your reach will get hit, even if there are 50 mobs lined up together, which essentially multiplies the damage dealt by whatever the number of entities you're hitting. But although it does have a longer attack range, it also has a minimum range of 2 blocks, which means that you are unable to hit mobs that are less than 2 blocks away from you. And this is why a wooden spear is not as bad as it seems. You see, the stronger the spear is, the longer the force cooldown. A netherite spear might do 2 hearts of damage more than a wooden spear, but the cooldown is almost twice as long, giving your enemy more time to get closer to you. The cooldown of a wooden spear is roughly half a second and can keep enemies on a safe distance much easier. But let's talk about the real strength of the spear, the charge attack, which you can do by holding the use button. Your spear will keep pointing forward and you will hit any entity in your way while holding it down. The charge attack has 3 stages. In stage 1, the spear will stay firmly pointed forward. In stage 2 you will see it wiggling, and in stage 3 it will kind of hang down a little bit. After finishing or stopping a charge attack, it has a forced cooldown. It might look like the spear will do more damage in stage 1 than the other 2, but the stage has nothing to do with the strength of your attack. While stage 3 only deals damage, stage 2 also gives knockback to your target, and stage 1 even dismounts your target of whatever it's riding. Certainly beneficial, but the amount of damage you do completely depends on your speed, with a minimum speed of 4.2 blocks per second. So walking is not fast enough, you need to sprint to have the minimum speed. Although you can actually stand still while performing a charge attack, because the speed is based relative to your target. You can see here the amount of damage it does for each spear. Multiply your speed, so blocks per second, by this number and you will see your attack damage. By simply running with the spear, you increase your damage to 2 hearts with a wooden spear or 3.5 hearts with a netherite spear. So this is where the real fun starts, because there are many ways to speed up in Minecraft and you can get as creative as you like. But let's start with riding a horse. Every horse speed is different, but while riding an average horse, the spear will deal 3.5 hearts to 5.5 hearts of damage, depending on the tier level. But riding the fastest horse possible will deal 5 hearts to 8 hearts of damage. That's enough speed to kill most common mobs in 2 hits with just a wooden spear. Next, there is a way to do way more damage than by using a horse, without the need of any other equipment or mob, just your spear. You see, we haven't talked about enchantments yet. A spear can have the same enchantments as a sword, including sharpness. But sharpness will only apply on the jab attack, since the strength of the charge attack is only influenced by the tier level of your spear and your speed. It's certainly a great enchantment to have on your spear, but the enchantment I want to talk about is Lunge, which is unique to the spear. You can simply get it by using the enchanting table or just buy it from a villager. Lunge comes in 3 levels and gives you a speed boost when performing a jab attack, with the high speed boost at Lunge 3. Although you're not supposed to do a jab and charge attack at the same time, you can use the momentum you gain from that boost to gain speed for your charge attack. Just press both buttons at the same time, while of course keep holding the charge attack. The spear needs a little time to get into position before the charge attack is ready, so you need to have some distance from your target to be able to hit it. The better the spear, the less time needed, so diamond and netherite spears are great for this. Although, you can already deal 4.5 hearts of damage with a wooden spear when standing 15 blocks away. Using a diamond spear from a standing still position, you can one-hit most common mobs, including a player without armor. You can get sometimes a little more if you run and jump at the right time. But with a netherite spear, you can even one-hit Elytras from a standing still position. I was sometimes even able to make a 14 heart hit while running. And remember, any mob you hit will take the damage. So if in a very unlikely scenario you have 24 Elytras packed together in a 1 block space, you can kill all of them at once in just 1 hit. That's crazy. Using the Lunge attack comes with the cost of saturation and hunger points, depending on the level. So it's important to have a lot of good food with you to bring your saturation back fast. But the fact that you can make these strong attacks without any other equipment needed is OP if you ask me. But let's move on to the most effective way to use a spear, while flying with an Elytra. It's one of the fastest ways to travel, while still very agile and easy to navigate, unlike other methods that can be faster but are way harder to control and are not so agile, like using a boat on blue ice for example. Going full speed with an Elytra using fireworks, you can do 21 hearts of damage, so you can kill another player in full protection 4 netherite armor in just 3 hits. There are just some things you need to be aware of. First, make sure you can easily switch between your fireworks and your spear by using good hotkeys for those items. Or at least place them in the item slots next to each other so you can quickly switch between them. Second, be careful using those fireworks while flying, especially when you need to turn around after hitting your target. After using a firework, you're less agile than normal and not able to make sharp turns. You can see that by looking at these particles that appear when you use one. Once those particles disappear, you are able to make sharp turns again. But after using one, diving down and hitting your opponent, you've usually passed that phase already and you can just turn around, use another firework and hit again. Just good to keep that in mind if you wonder why you're not turning the way you want to. Also, when your opponent holds a shield, you must disable it first by hitting him with an axe. He will be unable to use it for 5 seconds and meanwhile you can hit again. So keep that axe always easy to reach. But using fireworks is actually not the fastest way to fly in Elytra. If you fall exactly from 141 blocks, you will instantly kill a protection 4 netherite player. But of course, you won't survive that either unless you're somehow able to break your fall. But with an Elytra, you build up momentum when diving down. But be careful, because it's easy to die hitting the ground like this. Make sure you change your angle on time before you hit. If you feel very bad at flying an Elytra and even worse to use it with a spear, I advise you to simply practice in creative mode. Being bad at something is actually all the more reason to learn it, otherwise you wouldn't need to. Just keep practicing, it will only make you better, not worse. Don't give up. Anyways, how about taking it to the next level and use a spear while flying with a trident in the rain? Yes, I know, this is not your average way to travel and you can only do it with a trident that has the Riptide enchantment on it while touching water, which is also when it rains. So you depend on the weather to use it. But if it does rain, you are in for some crazy speed. In fact, with Riptide 3 applied, you can reach speeds up to 125 blocks per second, which deals 75.5 hearts of damage with a netherite spear, which is enough to kill both the Ender Dragon and the Wither in just 2 hits. Although it doesn't rain in the end. But still, you can try to use it to kill the Wither. It's hard, but it's possible. Even if this seems too hard, I still encourage you to try this out in creative mode. You are gonna realize how hard it is to just aim right with this speed. But then, after practicing for a while, you're gonna come back to flying with fireworks, which suddenly feels super slow compared to what you got used to with the Trident. It will really help you to master flying with an Elytra. There are more methods to gain speed in Minecraft, like boats on ice, but they will limit your mobility or have other downsides that maybe end up with this list. Let me know what you think and what your favorite method is. If you find this video helpful, please leave a like so more people will see it and subscribe to don't miss any Minecraft tutorial. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one.